Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure this is recording. Yep, good. All right, so I've had more than my fair share of things I've tried to record and hit the button and I didn't realize it wasn't going. Welcome back to the Stanley Cup. This is Game 3 of the 42-43 NHL Stanley Cup. Toronto, I think, was greatly sobered. Last year, 41-42 Stanley Cup, they whooped Detroit. This year, they go into Detroit to start off and they win it 2-1, and I think Toronto at that point thought we're gonna waylay Detroit like we did in 41-42. Game 2 in Detroit, Detroit blows up, scores 5 goals in 20 minutes, wins it 5-2, and sobers Toronto on their way back to Toronto. It is now Game 3, Detroit at Toronto. It is a 1-1 series. Detroit, of course, by nature of being the visitor, will get the ball. We'll get the face-off first. Here we go, folks. Welcome to Red Ice Hockey by Powder Blue Sports. A brilliant tabletop hockey game. Here we go. It's going to be offense. Detroit working the puck around the ice. It's going to be 12-14. It's going to be a power play opportunity for Detroit. Power play. We're going to be looking at the power play role for them. Offense. They can do well. 12 and up. Let's see here. Oh, 11. They're going to miss it by 1. There will be no goal. But during this 5 minutes, they're going to get 1 shot on goal. All right. Poke checked away by Toronto, working around the ice. They're playing good. Uh-oh. Finally. By the way, this was offense. It's been defense. Again, Toronto suffered Detroit's defense all series. Finally, they figured out the code. 16 is nothing. So it's technically nothing shot on goal. That's sad. They finally break down that defense. And they do get 2 shots on goal, but for naught. All right, here we go. Detroit back in control of the puck. And it's going to be defense. So Toronto defense is going to set the pace here. 12-14 is a power play. And it's going to be on their defense. If I roll low, it could be problematic. 11-12, no, it's not going to be anything for them. Shot on goal for Detroit. 8 is going to be 3 shots on goal, so they're up to 4 shots on goal so far this period. Toronto gets the puck away. Oh, there they go, facing that Detroit defense. It's going to be 9-10. 10 is no goal. How many shots on goal Toronto managed? 7. They're going to manage 2. So far, folks, it's a defensive game. Detroit poke checks it away, goes on the hunt, but Toronto back skating, keeping the puck in front of them nicely. 8-13. Toronto's going to give up a power play chance, though. And again, if I roll low, they're in trouble. Nope, not anything like it. 11, though, they're going to get 4 shots on goal during that period with a power play, and they manage nothing against the Toronto defense. Man, defense again. It's been a defensive series for both these teams. 11-14 is a power play chance. They do give up a power play goal on a very low rolls. Oh, 6-7. That's 9. Oof, nope. And Toronto will manage how many shots? They're going to get 3 more. This is it, folks. Final 5 minutes of the first period in a 1-1 series. First game in Toronto of the Stanley Cup. It's going to be defense. It's going to be 9. 9 on this is extra goal. There is no extra goal chance. So defense. X. How many shots on goal they get? 2. Oh, they're not going to get any. They were hammered in that segment. Here it is. Toronto poke checks it away. They're working the puck around the ice in the final moments. It's their offense going to work. This could be crucial. 11, 12, 13. Can they do it? Nope. They're going to get a power play chance. They must roll high. And it's going to be a no-goal opportunity. But Toronto finally looking good there with 2 shots on goal in the final 5 minutes. The first period comes to a close. 8 shots on goal. 8 SOG for Detroit. And let's see here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 SOG for Toronto. It is 0-0 after the first period. Okay, last game. Toronto thought they had it as they also took the lead early, and then Detroit went on a tear and scored 5 goals, unanswered goals. So we know that Detroit in any moment could take over and blow up here. So Toronto's got to keep their wits about them. Again, I'm rooting for Toronto. I tend to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Here we go. I don't tend to. I am. Here we go. Although I am a Colorado native, having the Avalanche is a nice thing. But again, all right, so here it is. The defense of the Maple Leafs going to work. It's going to be 9-10. 10 is going to be nothing at all. So the shots on goal situation for Detroit, they do manage to get 2 shots on goal. Toronto in control of the puck. They're going to look at their offense. Finally, this is what happened last time. When they get their offense, they usually have a chance. 9, 10, 11. 11 will be a power play opportunity. They got to roll high. No, not going to happen. And Toronto, though, in this segment, manages 4 shots on goal, peppering the goalie as Mowers cleans up shop, leaving no stone unturned. Again, the Toronto defense at home in control, 14. It's a power play chance for Detroit. They can relinquish a power play goal if I keep it low, 9-10. They do not. How many shots does Detroit manage with a power play? 9. They're going to get 3. Folks, this is a defensive struggle. Defense, the Detroit, they did this to them for 2 straight games. The Detroit defense is something that to be respected, and they get no goal. Toronto manages only 2 shots in that segment. Here we go. It's going to be offense. Uh-oh, Detroit, finally. This is how they scored 5. They got a couple of these, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they just missed a goal. Dang, 12. They're going to get 4 shots, so they dominated that 5 minutes. Offense, just missed a goal, but offense for 4 shots. They literally are dominating that 5-minute segment midway through the second period. But Broda handles everything they got for him. It's going to be offense. Uh-oh, this is where Toronto can do its best work, but it ain't going to happen. 16 is nothing at all. What a defensive 9. You can see that both teams are a little uptight after the last 2 games. Detroit comes in feeling good, but they're on the road. They're wary, right? They're really wary of Toronto's ability to maybe steal a couple of goals. Toronto, of course, has been told we cannot let Detroit do what they did to us last game. And so you can see Toronto using the first home game to learn how to handle Detroit's offense. We're in the final 5 minutes, and it shows. We're seeing the strategies unfold. Toronto's defense once again stymies. Uh-oh, maybe not. 8, I think that's a goal. It is. They're going to give up a goal. That's a goal. How many shots for Detroit? 7. They're going to get 7 plus the goal. That's 3 shots. They're going to score a goal. Who gets the goal? 11 gets the goal. That's going to be Bruntow. So goals. Second period, finally, Detroit. Brunatow. I want to say Brunatow. Assists. They're going to see 1 assist. And that assist is coming from 68. That assist is coming from Wares directly. And guess what, folks? The fans here in Toronto stunned as they get, in the final 5 minutes, Detroit finally gets one past Broda. Defense. Can they score on this Detroit defense? 11, 12, 13. They're going to get no opportunity. And Toronto now has got to be feeling a little concerned as they have given up 6 goals to 1 in the last game and a half. Okay, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shots on goal. SOG, they scored a goal. 0 goals. They got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shots on goal. So, folks, Toronto's definitely getting their shots, but Mowers is just popping everything, right? He's like the black hole. Everything hits him in the chest or the gloves. He's not letting anything by him. We've got 20 shots to 20 shots, and Detroit has the 1 goal edge going into the third period. What a game. Can Detroit steal the first game at Toronto? As Toronto did to Detroit in this series. Toronto went into Detroit, won 2-1 in overtime. And then Detroit blew up in the second at home. Now on their way, this would be 2 games in a row for Detroit, and getting one in Toronto would make them feel really good about their chances of revenge against Toronto, who beat them in the Stanley Cup last year. Here we go. It's going to be defense. So again, we're looking at the Maple Leaf defense. 13. 13's a power play opportunity. And again, this is actually pretty good for Detroit if I roll low. 8, 9. Oh, just missed a goal. How many shots on goal? Detroit looking really good. They would love to put this away with one more goal and force Toronto then into big makeup. But see, Toronto also capable of scoring a 2-point goals, 2-goal segments. Offense. Oh, this is where they can get. This is where they can get their 2-goal segments. Uh-oh, wait. 9, 10. I think they... No. Dang it. I thought Toronto might have got a 2-goal segment. Oh, my Lord. And they do put 4 shots on the goalie. As Mauer is stopping him with gloves, kicking him out, off the shoulder, off the skates, whatever he's got to do. But Detroit going to work on offense. They're pushing it, trying to get that goal that they think is going to wrap it up. 13 is a power play, so they're going to go into a power play opportunity. We want to roll high. 12 is going to be a goal. Power play goal. That's it, folks. That might be all she wrote. Detroit only needs a cushion. 7 plus 1. They're going to get 3 shots on goal. We're going to get a power play goal. Third period, Detroit. Power play. 12 is, wow, 2 goals for Brunatow. Holy cow. And assists, we're going to see 1 assist from 12. It's going to be 1 assist from Howe. Sid Howe, baby. That's a power play goal, and that may be it. Man, I don't think Toronto can score 2 goals in the remaining 15 minutes. Ah, I lied. Offense, they may do it right here. Oh my God, 7, they do. No, they missed it by in between goals and 2 goals and goals. They missed it. 7, no. Toronto, as Mauers is just knocking everything out. And it isn't with a lack of trying. They took 4 more shots. They had 8 shots on goal in the last 10 minutes and cannot get past Mauers. My God, Detroit fans listening on the radio are in heaven as their Detroit team looks like they're going to take a 2-1 and they're going to win the first game in Toronto. 11 is no shot or no goal. And 8 is going to be another 3 shots as Detroit is playing beautiful defensive hockey. And it's going to be defense. There it is again, defense. I don't think they're going to get a goal here. Well, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, no goal. Toronto, and now hurting. 5 is going to be just 1 shot in that segment. Here it is. The final 5 minutes. Detroit would love to make this 3-0. Offense. Uh-oh, maybe worse than that. 9, 10. They will not score a goal. Offense. X. And how many shots did they get? 8. They're going to get 3 shots on goal. That's going to wrap it up for them. All right, we're going with our empty net chance. Here we go. And there will be no empty net goal, so we're just going to play normally. Remember, so they don't pull the empty, although it's 2-1. They could have, but they didn't do it. Oh, wait, though. Offense. Folks, I can't read all the dice at once, but here we go. If this is the right numbers, they're going to score multiple goals. 6, 7, 8. Goal! They do score late. Although it's not going to be 23. Gay Stewart for Toronto in front of hometown Finns is going to be Stewart stealing a goal late. It won't be enough as we didn't get the opportunity and an empty net goal. Assists on that for Toronto, 80. No, there'll be 1 guy helping out. And 96 is Gold up. Gold up with the assist. Wow, folks. And how many shots did Toronto need to do that? 1. They had 1 shot, and it finally got past Mauers. So we got 12 shots on goal for Detroit. They scored another goal. And then over here we get a goal, and we had 8, 9, 10 shots on goal. So the final, Detroit 1-2 to 1. And shots on goal, we're going to have 24 and 8, 32 shots on goal for Detroit, and we're going to get 10, 30 shots on goal for Toronto. Look at this, folks. 62 shots and only 3 goals scored. That is brilliant goalie play, folks, right there. So as we've settled in now, some of the jitters are out, right? They were shocked by Toronto. Toronto comes in, beats them 2-1 in overtime on a sudden death power play goal by, oh, I didn't write down who scored the goal. Oh, yeah, Apps. Taylor and Carr helped him out, and they still won in Detroit. In Game 2, Detroit says no more of that, but Toronto takes in the lead, and then Detroit again scores 5 goals before Toronto again scores a late goal. They win this 5-2. 36 shots on goal for Detroit. 5 goals, 31-2. And Toronto here, 1 goal separates these, shots on goal separates these two, and 1 goal separates these two. Holy cow, Detroit now up 2-1. So Detroit, still in Toronto, up 2-1 series lead. And folks, we got Game 4 coming later. Thank you for watching. Good day.